This is a regularly scheduled meeting, and all items that will be discussed have been duly posted. While this is a meeting in public, it is not a meeting of the public. If you wish to speak, please register in the lobby for audience for guests and follow the instructions on the speaker form. The board's role is to set goals, approve personnel and budget, make policy, and provide oversight. We are not here to manage or solve individual problems. Management is the responsibility of the superintendent. As a board, we believe we must educate every child, give every child the greatest opportunity to learn, and to provide a safe and secure environment mentally, physically, emotionally, and academically. And these are our core values. And we thank you for your interest in the students of CISD. The first item on our agenda is audience for guests. Do we have any audience for guests?
No, ma'am.
All right. Next item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. And today we are blessed by the Barrow Elementary. We have Eidelman, Cassius Wright, Joshua Martinez, and Zemiah Sanders. They are going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. All right, next item on our agenda is going to be the invocation, and that is going to be given by Steve Hayes from Grace Community.
Y'all join me in prayer. God, we thank you so much for your great love for us. We thank you for our opportunity to celebrate the resurrection yesterday, and I thank you for this meeting, and I pray that you would preside over it. I thank you for each person who's here. I thank you for the schools that are represented in this district, and I pray your blessing upon them. I pray that as we discuss these things tonight, that you would be honored and that you would glorify not only yourself, but you would do this for the good of this community, God. Thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Next item on our agenda is recognitions.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are here to recognize an outstanding group of student athletes who showed incredible strength, discipline, and tiger pride. Our Corsicana High School powerlifters who qualified for the state powerlifting meet. Let's start with a name that's become legendary in Texas high school powerlifting, Lakias Kelly. Lakias made her third straight trip to state, medaling each time, and this year she brought home her second state title. Her dedication, strength, and leadership continues to inspire her teammates and all of us. Let's give her a huge round of applause. On the boys' side, Tanner Crumpton delivered an outstanding performance, earning third place in state. He competed with heart and represented Corsicana with pride. And to help him move. But these two were not alone in making their mark at state. Let's meet our other qualifiers. On the girls' side, Shayla Flores, Roxana Lopez, Sarah Lopez, Angelica Besseril. For the boys, Adric Duran, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Eli Fitzhugh, Christian Martinez. Johnson and Matthew Fonville, and their assistants, Matt Graham and Robert Arrington. Thank you for all that you do. Each of these athletes put in countless hours in the weight room, pushed through the pain, and showed what it means to compete with heart. Their journey to state reflects not just personal physical strength, but the kind of character and work ethic that sets Corsicana apart. Please join me in congratulating these incredible powerlifters and strongest students at Corsicana High School.
Next, we're going to move into the Facilities Committee meeting. So we do have pizza and waters available. So what we're going to do is, it is 5:38, so we'll start at 5:50 with the Facilities Committee meeting. So help yourself, and then we'll get started.
We actually met with Ms. Howell and talked about some possibilities of what that could look like. So one thing I have noticed, the kitchen itself is very undersized for the size of school you are. So I was thinking of expanding the kitchen, and then we would be able to utilize the existing gym, this older gym here, to expand the cafeteria and use some of that existing square footage, but fully renovate. So it would be, it would be a brand new space when you're done with it. Lots and lots to talk about bathrooms, so there's various bathrooms on here. This is a new ag facility. I actually just bid a project that's very similar in size and scope, and so I got these numbers like hot off the press. And including an indoor arena would be that, so you could have actual ag shows. Another possibility for expanding the high school would be a 9th grade wing. So looking at 20 classrooms, science labs, again, another remote admin, and that can help alleviate the congestion of the main circulation, the spine in the building that gets so packed. So we could add on possibly over by the stairwells as an idea. I don't know, I haven't drawn anything yet, but just brainstorming at this stage. Multi-purpose facility, that's a full 120-yard indoor field. And then we talked about having some sort of flex space. It could be for banquets, it could be PD, it could be lots of options. And then down towards the bottom is some of the elementary discussions that were had. So you'll see those. Playgrounds, I was giving a pretty rough budget of $600,000, which again, I did a playground this other day, so that's, and that would be accounting for, again, November plus design and inflation and everything. And then at the bottom, we did talk about the district does have a need for additional buses. So if we are doing about 40 new buses, that's around $9 million. What breakdown did we say? Two and a quarter, I think, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna give you till about 6:20, 6:25 to go through this list yourself. Again, circle, check it, however you like, and then we'll break up into groups. And I'm here if anyone has questions, so you can shout them out. Yes, ma'am.
Well, not necessarily. Ms. Howell asked me to program it for the building or some of those numbers are based on pre-K, but also kindergarten enrollment, Yeah, they do the first one, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Fifth grade guy, fifth grade guy. And sixth and seventh. So like in the age of just like intermediate, and then they had junior high, 6, 7, 8. Here. Yeah, and I was there. Which is probably
break out into groups. Yes, sir.
These numbers that you've given us here, do they include the 20% soft cost that you talked about?
They do, yes.
And
And
how much inflation is in these numbers?
so inflation, I am basing most of these projects to bid around September of 26. So if we'll go out for a November election, hypothetically, and then it does take us say we're building a big new high school wing, that's a long process to go through design and engineering and everything. And then, so maybe around the September timeframe-ish, but that's what I'm projecting. So that 1.0058, that does add up.
Thank you.
And I do have a chart if you need to look at it. Okay, and just to reiterate, as you talk about this is the first pass at programming. This is not set in stone by any means. So if we need 6 shop spaces or extra classrooms or whatever it may be, that's all can be fleshed out. But I'm just trying to get an idea of where everyone in this room stands today based on just the first go at it. So just want to say that. Okay, we're going to pass out larger 11 by 17 printouts of this same document, and that's just so I can keep track of what's individual versus group. And then I would like everyone to break out in groups 4 or 5-ish and talk about it amongst yourselves. And even maybe spread out, because I know a lot of tables have already been kind of chatting. So if you want to mix it up, that could be helpful. Okay, and we'll do another 15 minutes, please.
High school graduation, There's a need. Y'all would say future board. Because it's not what we just say, don't want it out.
Yeah, we'll have a small base, and that's $32 million.
I didn't turn it all the way down because people were still coming out, but I'm not gonna do that. Are you sure? Can't really You got 4 minutes and
All right. We are wrapping up our groups now. So what we're going to do, so similar to how we've done in the other meetings, is have a spokesperson from your group. And I would like to hear from everybody, of the high level, what you've talked about, And I will be collecting all of your forms, so I'm going to actually tally it up for the next meeting and show you how you actually voted and put a point system to it, so we have data. But we do want to go around and just hear the reasons, like what you talked about and why. So, which group wants to go?
Okay. Okay, so our group, we had a lot of really good discussions. For the early childhood centers, we put the 800 student as a future bond and the 400 student as a want. CTE addition, high school cafeteria expansion, high school bathroom, ag facility, and new transportation buildings are an absolute need. The new high school would be a want, obviously. The 9th grade wing at the high school, I promise I will not get off on a tangent. We put it as a want. Personally, I don't think I'm just gonna say it really quick, I think it'd be better utilized towards CTE. A lot of your kids are gonna be in higher level classes, not in that area. Anyway, are you good? Multi-purpose facility, a need. And one of the things we talked about as a group is that expanding the cafeteria and taking over the old gym, ROTC loses that space to practice in. Band on rainy days. Calico's practice in there some mornings. There's a lot of different groups that practice in there. So while we absolutely 100% need it for the cafeteria expansion, if you take something away, you gotta give something back. And we all kind of felt if it was proposed as that fashion instead of more of a sports facility, it would have a better chance of being understood by the public. Collins outdoor rec space, we put as a want, definitely up there with it. Collins improvements, future bond. Sam Houston Elementary expansion and Carroll Elementary improvements were both needs. Sam Houston is at double capacity right now, so they definitely need some help over there. For all of the playground upgrades, we actually put those as wants. We kind of did use Sam Houston as the standard for that. Their PTO, not PTO.
Yeah,
PTO, they fundraised their entire playground upgrade. And so looking at the playground facilities and upgrades with everything else, we feel that maybe they could help out with some other schools and show them how it's done. Buoy restroom upgrades, any restroom, all restrooms, upgrade them yesterday. And then buses, absolutely 40 new buses. I know a lot of our kids complain about not having air on some of them. You know, it gets hot, or they're not working. So we definitely felt that that was a need. Yeah, I'm short this time. Hey, good. No, we didn't.
So our total bond, we did $120 million as the total net on ours. We started with the early childhood center, the 800 student one. It kind of alleviated a couple of the other needs. It eliminated the need for Navarro to have a playground. It eliminated the Sam Houston Elementary expansion. It kind of eliminated the Carroll Elementary improvements. So our first one's the 800 kid ECC. We went and did the high school cafeteria expansion for $26 million. The high school bathroom renovation, the 9th grade wing at high school. The Collins improvement, we eliminated the science labs and courtyard and just did the restrooms for $2 million. And then, yeah, we made our own number there. We did do the Carroll playground. We did buoy restrooms upgrades, and then we did 5 new buses at $1.1 million instead of 40 buses. So.
Okay, all right. They have one as well, and yeah, they have all the books.
And the rest was once.
Okay, just keep in mind that we have 2 parents and 3 board members. So, we went with the early childhood 800 student as a need. We went with the CT addition and the ag facility kind of as a bond by itself. The high school cafeteria expansion and bathroom renovations as a need. The new transportation building as a need. The new high school as a future bond. The 9th grade wing as a need. The multi-purpose facility on a bond by itself, and sell it as the other group said that it's just not an athletic facility. It's, if you take this, we gotta give this. The Collins outdoor rec space, we did that as a need, but only 3 million instead of 6. I mean 300,000, excuse me. 300,000 instead of 600,000. We cut money too. All the playground equipment, we cut it to 3 instead of 600,000. Sam Houston expansion need, Carroll improvement need, Bowie restroom upgrade a need, and then buses. Just we did that as a smaller bonds and faster payoff. And so not do 40 buses at a time, maybe 10 at a time, and then just rotate that. That's ours.
And on the Eastwood facility, what we said is it needs to be, we know it has to be separate because it would have to be considered athletics, but do it at a completely different time from anything else. That would be the only item on the ballot for that bond. Good job, Ray.
So we had a clear division of frugal people and let's spend all the money people. But, okay. So, but what we kind of settled on was very similar to this group over here. So we just kind of talked about what would get kind of like biggest bang for our buck, what kind of alleviates other problems if we fix one thing. So the first thing we said was the ECC for 800 students. We actually said it's really kind of fiscally irresponsible if we could double the size for 15 million. That's kind of crazy. And then so we kind of talked about, well, if we're alleviating that stress, those stressors off of the elementaries because we're taking kinder, then you've got more space, you've got more storage, kind of things that we talked about last week. It also, so we did some numbers. It's handy when Sean's in your group and he can pull all the things. So it actually would free up classrooms for 34 teachers. It's 630 kids right now is what would move over. For our little bitties all the way to kinder. It obviously would open up again for us to kind of open up transfers again, so that's some more revenue coming in for our district and things like that, and some more programs that we can do. So really had the heavy need there, but it also, like I said, alleviates and then creates some good situations. So then it went to, okay, what's next though? Obviously the high school is high point of need, it struggles, so we kind of started working down from either, so is it 9th grade wing or is it CTE? But either way, you're creating a release of pressure. If CTE, one thing we did say kind of contingent would be if we do create new CTE, then what CTE is now has to become classrooms. Because we've got to be able to get back some instructional spaces. But either way, it again, releases kind of pressure off the pipe. So, and it, that's funny because bathrooms is the next one. So, so of course we need to update these high school bathrooms, but if you had 9th grade wing, you would have additional new bathrooms, or if you did CTE, you would have additional new bathrooms. If you just are able to spend all the money, then we do both, of course, but always. My man here wants to really just knock it out of the park as maximum as high as we can go. But we felt like that was kind of a good start. If you did high school bathroom, if you did 9th grade wing, you could do high school bathrooms, and you could do ag or half the buses. We said if we did ag, then it would be a good thing that if we moved ag or created new for ag, then we would move transport into old ag, and so now you don't need the transport building either. You know, you just, if we can reduce pressure, then we can create some big moves. So that was our group. Anybody else?
Would like to say this.
We're trying to keep it right there at 100.
I didn't notice that Jeremy spoke that we could alter prices. What would be ideal is if you could do the $55 million early childhood center for about $25 million. Thank you.
Maybe back in 2009. Okay.
Hello, we're all high school seniors. So for ours, we learned a lot, but from when we initially wrote, we said it was a need to have the early childhood center for 800 students. And we think it's really important to have that opportunity, especially for low-income families that don't have the opportunity for childcare. And just making sure that they all have that stronger foundation understanding for school. For the CTE edition, we do like our CTE that we currently have. I think it could use some improvement, but we think it's more of a want just because we're working with what we have right now. And it's kind of something that like we can utilize what we have and like build upon that rather than adding a whole new addition to it. With the cafeteria, we put future bond just because the cafeteria, we think that we fit right now. And future bond just because like there's going to be a growth in students, but right now we think that it fits us fine. With the bathrooms, we're gonna need, bathrooms they're rough. And then the agriculture facility, we put a need. We just think it'd be a lot more opportunities for students. The high school, the new high school, future bond, we don't really think we need that. And then the multi-purpose facility, okay, I'm in band, and sometimes it's really hard just like finding that space and just in color and everything. So we think that it could be future bond, but also it's kind of more of a need. But we could just renovate what we have. Like the dome is like, it's not a lot really big enough like for us to do our show in it. But we think that like if we renovate what we had now, then we could put the new facility for the future in the future bond. The Collins Outdoor Rec Space we did future bond. Okay, we didn't put improvements. Okay. The Sam Houston Elementary expansion, we think it's a need. The Carroll Elementary improvements we think is a need. We put all the playgrounds as a need. We just think it's really important for students to have that area to like just like the brain break and like adjusting to school, especially in those elementary, and having that. And then a need for the restrooms. You want to talk about buses?
And then as for buses, we chose as a need because I used to ride the bus, and sometimes it was really hard for us high school students to go home one time if we need to study or anything, because the buses have to pick up the elementary students and the other kids in the middle school. So it just took a while for us to be picked up, and we were also like really crowded on the bus, and it wasn't safe for us all to be 3 in a seat. So we just felt that the buses was a need. And same thing for like, I just want to go back on the bathrooms. I just think that like the difference between the middle school and the high school is that there's more like people like this. I guess the admin is more like strict on bathrooms in the middle school, which is why the bathrooms in the middle school look the way they look. It's just because they have more structure, and like you're like rarely you see any students in the bathroom at the middle school. It's just because they're being watched, they're being made sure that nothing's going on in those bathrooms. Whereas at the high school, we just have a little bit too much freedom when it comes to the bathrooms, which is why they look the way they look. It's just because we're not making sure that these students are doing what they need to be doing and getting like right out and like making messes and stuff.
You're gonna do amazing, Misty.
Okay, we got a couple more.
Alright, Andy Williams voted that I talked to this group, so. We felt very strongly about the 800 student early childhood center. We felt very strong about the CTE edition. We also felt that if the CTE edition was done right with maybe more classrooms, that the 9th grade wing would not be necessary, because I don't know the exact number, but I'm pretty sure that over 20-something classrooms inside this main building are being used for CTE purposes. So if those could be moved out to the CTE facility, you're gonna free up a lot of classrooms inside this building, and then you wouldn't need an ninth grade expansion as much. So, that was our trade-off with that, would be to put the ninth grade expansion as a future and the CTE as a need. Bathroom renovations across the board, absolutely. Ag facility, yes. Transportation building, yes. New high school, as much as we would love it, a future bond. We already discussed a ninth grade wing. Multi-purpose facility, we have absolutely no problem with that. We obviously know they would have to go on a separate bond, and I like their idea of putting it at a different time. We didn't really discuss the Collins improvements very much. The outdoor rec spaces, we think Sam Houston did a great job of raising money, and as my kids came through Sam Houston, we know what a good parent organization can do. And so we did not put those as high need. The Sam Houston Elementary expansion, because my kids went through Sam Houston, I did have some questions that weren't necessarily able to be answered. And here out to the side, it says 6 new classrooms and restrooms. And as much as I know those are needed, if you're taking away that 7 or 8 classrooms that are portables and adding 6 classrooms, you're really going backwards instead of forwards. So that might need to be looked at a little bit different. Also, if you are adding an early childhood center, is that as necessary? You're still going to have the busing of the scenes at Sam Houston if you're having an early childhood center. So that was a thought that we had. Restrooms, yes. Buses, yes. Do we need 40? I don't know. We don't know. We don't know how many we need. We do know that if we did have some good new quality buses that were dependable and had all the features that we need, that maybe we wouldn't have to spend so much money renting charter buses. And hopefully within that bus budget, there could be some large, or 1 or 2, or however many you need, box trucks for transporting equipment. So that is what we discussed on that. We don't know how many buses you need, but we think you could save some money on charter having some quality buses.
One more thing, we don't have a problem with going about this. $100 million. Are you talking? Okay.
Okay, well, I started my analysis, if you will, by trying to look at what was the absolute minimum, and I came up with the high school cafeteria, high school renovations, buoy restroom, and half the buses, and just those few things, that total came up to $35 million. And these ladies that I'm here with are, they do work for the district, so they have some other things that they think are just as important, which would include the CTE addition at the high school. That's another $33 million. And they added the Carroll Elementary improvements, that's another $12 million. And the other half of the buses, it looks like. So that comes up to about $80-something million right there. And then in the want column, they got the ag facility, transportation building, 9th grade wing, multi-purpose facility, Collins improvements, Sam Houston. I think that totals up to about another $80 million. So that's about $160 million, and then the other items ended up over in the future bond program. There's something else I'd like to say, just because it's not directly to this, but I don't own a big fancy house. But my homeowner's insurance went up about 30% this year. I don't know about any about y'all. My automobile insurance went up another 20%, and I don't have any tickets and no claims, no accidents or anything else. The thing is that those costs are going to go up again this year for everybody. And $200 in taxes is going to be real for a lot of people. Now, I'm over 65, so I dodge a bullet. But homeowners don't. And the other thing that I think everybody needs to be cognizant of is that if you rent a property, that tax is gonna go on the property. And that tax is gonna get pushed on to the renter. And the people in this community that are renters, and they're renting houses and they're renting apartments, those are the people that are gonna pay this bill. And those are the people who are gonna get hit the hardest and hurt the most. So you need to be sober in thinking about just raising taxes and spending money. Anyway, I'm done preaching here.
Thank you.
I'll go.
Okay.
All right, let me go where I can spread out. So I tried to do this with a calculator on my phone, but the numbers got big and it was just too much. So admin that did it wonderfully. I don't have a calculator, so it didn't happen. So we met, and early childhood 800 we said is a future bond. We want to go with the 400. CTE, we had Mr. Bitters at our table, and JP was close to us. I just couldn't say no. I just couldn't. And we need it. We really do need it. I walk out, it's crowded. We have to expand the cafeteria. The bathrooms, you've seen them, they are yucky. Just bomb them. They're done. We need an ag building. We have to have an ag building. That's a yes. New transportation building, as bad as we want to say yes, they really work on driving the bus. They're really not in the building a long time. Run in, get your keys, get out. So new transportation building, new high school is a no. 9th grade wing is a no. The multi-purpose building is a no. Collins outdoor rec space is a no. Collins improvement, science labs, restrooms, courtyard is a yes. Sam Houston expansion, we squeezed it in, we said yes. Carroll improvement, Mr. Best, we said yes. Just want to let you know yes. The playgrounds, we thought about Sam Houston. If they could do it with $75,000, clap again, yes. We're figuring we can do it at the other campuses. I don't know how, sell some things, I don't know. But the playgrounds, we had to let those go. The Bowie restrooms, I haven't been in there. Miss Bodie, is she in here or no? Miss Stearman? Okay, so I don't know what they look like, but if they look like our restrooms, it's a yes. And the buses, we said no. It's working now. We're just going to stay with the buses that we have, and we'll deal with that later. So again, I don't have the numbers on it. Nobody, they didn't send a person over the calculator. Okay.
We have you on.
Okay, our needs are early childhood center. We went with the 400 student because of the price. CTE edition. We talked about, the only thing about the CTE edition that Mr. Johnson said is we have 11 CTE teachers already out of the building. We have 17 in the building. So the CTE edition wasn't as big as we thought it may need to be. So we think it needs to be a little bigger. The high school.
We currently have 5 shops right now too.
Yeah,
So
we have 5 shops and there's only 4 on the CTE edition. High school cafeteria expansion is a need for us. High school bathroom renovations are a definite need for us. The students will tell you, and they did. 9th grade wing at the high school, we saw that as a way to just improve the high school and make it newer. And the reason why we did that is it's a hard sell, and I'll just tell you, going from the middle school to the high school here for students. And one of the things that she said, and she's so right, is, the restrooms are different and they're a little more organized, and that's because they're bigger, they're easier to access, they're newer, they're more modern. They weren't built in 1970 like the ones over here. So that matters, and so that's a big deal to us. Everything else, we had 2 wants: early childhood center, the bigger one, and the Sam Houston expansion. We wanted that. Everything else we put on future bond.
Last but not least.
They're hiding.
All right, we're high school, so we're going to be biased. But we put as a need that we wanted the CT edition, the high school cafeteria expansion. Again, the cafeteria renovation would go into the old gym, but it would not take up the old gym. That would still be used for PE. and other events. Drill team uses it sometimes, but we would use that. But just knocking out that wall and pushing it back 20 or 30 feet would grant us probably 3,000 square feet in the cafeteria, which is big time. Of course, high school bathroom renovations, and then we said all the elementary improvements, the Collins improvements, the Sam Houston Elementary expansion, the Carroll Elementary improvements, and then the Bowie restroom upgrades. And then we talked about the ag facility and the transportation building, just renovating that or expanding that and spending $10 million on those two buildings instead of putting new structures in place for those. So we tried to keep it under 100 million, so that's where we were. So.
Okay.
I only move so fast in the shoes. Okay, so thank you, everybody. So next steps, what you can expect. So we do have one more meeting, meeting 4, and that meeting, we are going to come up with some different bond scenarios, and based on the district's bonding capacity. So Ms. Howell did get some preliminary numbers, so we're starting from the financial advisor. So we are starting to look at that, and then we can start putting kind of the different items in different buckets, and then that's going to be the discussion for next time. So the next meeting is Monday, May, is that 19th? Okay, at 5:30, same place, same time, and then if we need a 5th meeting, so if next meeting not everybody can come to an agreement, there might be a 5th meeting. But we'll kind of see how the next one goes, and then may or may not have a 5th meeting. Anything else? Do you have anything else?
I was gonna thank you guys for coming. I hope to see you at the next meeting. I need you at the next meeting.
Why'd you schedule it for senior sunset?
I just said that.
Oh, it wasn't on my calendar. I'm gonna ask them to move it. No, I'm kidding. We'll work around it. There's too many senior things going on that last week of school. But thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, most people in this room have my phone number, my cell number. You can share it. It's fine. Or email me, call the office. Any questions? Anytime you want to meet, you want to have a tour, you want to go to ag facilities and see why there were so many on ag or CTE, call me. We'll do a tour. If I can't do it, then I'll send somebody on my team. But thank you again for coming. I really appreciate it. Y'all can go.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We are now going to go into closed session as permitted by Texas Governance Code Section 55.01.